Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Zoe's Treasures. My name's Tracy, and my husband is here doing the behind the scenes stuff as he usually is. Maybe he'll pitch in today. I keep telling him, you've got to talk more on my morning shows. Good morning, Monster Mama. Hello, how is everybody today on this wonderful Wednesday morning? This freezing, freaking cold Wednesday morning. I don't know what it's like where you guys are. It is 7 degrees here. Seven. Like, I don't know. Like it's just 7 degrees. Um, we went looking. We finally gave in. So Monday I talked about how we don't really shovel our driveway, and my I feel that my neighbors are all overachievers. Um, and we both have trucks. Me and my husband drive trucks. They're 4x4. We just kind of go over the ice and the snow to get out of the driveway. Well, we did decide that we did need to shovel a little bit, and that's just not happening. So went on a mission yesterday. Went on a mission. You got him the gator. No, I should have. No, we went on a mission to find one of those shovels that's like a snowblower, but it's a shovel. They're all over like Facebook and TikTok and stuff. So we went to get one of these. Yeah, we should have thought this through because every single like Home Depot, Lowe's type store in our area, and now mind you, we live in the country, so there's not a lot of choices. Nobody has anything left. There's nothing. It's all manual labor at this point. So now I'm looking for like posting in our community, like Facebook groups on to see if I can find any like teenage boys that want to come and make, $40 or something to shovel my driveway. We'll see. We'll see if we're successful with that. But kids are finally going back to school today, at least in our area. 2-hour bus delay, which if they're going to go in 2 hours late, just let them stay home. Really, like just let them stay home. Is it that important? I'm sure the teachers would enjoy another day at home. Like, I don't know. My kid's happy to go back because she's like, of course, a teenager and doesn't want to be stuck at home with their parents. So there's that. All right, today we're going to sell some stuff. There's some stuff in the auction listings. I'm going to take this down because, as I say, every time I put it up, it bugs the heck out of me. We're going to sell a few things today. The bin is full. If you have our rewards cards, number 2 and 8, in that order, 2 and 8 today, put those together, and that's worth $5 off. Anything that you may want to purchase today. And with that, we'll go ahead and do our very first item, and then we'll talk some more.
Kimmy, you would think that she would buy me the gator, but no luck.
He's spoiled anyways. All right, let's do our first item. Shipping is also $4.50, so max shipping $4.50 today. I only have 10 items listed, but I've got a bunch more in the bin. All right, you guys, we've got this cute thing. We're gonna see if my husband can put our other camera on. Are these Delft? I can't read. We're gonna have to see the back. We've got.
If you move your coffee cup like always.
Yeah, like always. Move my coffee cup. All right, here we go. Check these cutie pies out. Maybe not. We'll see if there we go. Can we see who makes these? I don't know if they're Delft. We'll turn them around a second. They are tiny little ceramic clogs. They are so adorable. Let's see here. We're trying to zoom. Can we make it happen? We're off to a slow start this morning. Good morning, Southern Charm. You guys, I'm going to talk about the big kahunas in a minute. All right, there we go. I don't know if you guys can see who makes that. I can't quite tell who makes it, but they're adorable. Let's turn them around so you can actually see what we're talking about here. They're 2 little ceramic clogs. They look like Delft. I just can't tell if that's a Delft marking or not. Let's put them down to 10 seconds. All right, they are up and running. There you go. If I can hold them. Look at that, trying to hold them kind of still. Thank you so much for your pre-bid. I appreciate that. And Shalom, y'all. Shalom, you are winning those. Thank you so much. You guys.
Thank you.
Speaking of Shalom, I am on a raid train today, hosted by Grammy, and I always get the numbers wrong, so I have it right here. Grammy 55502 and Shalom, y'all. It is called the Come Fall in Love raid train. My spot is going to be at 3 o'clock today. I already have the show loaded. And think like Valentine's, Fall in Love, old Victorian romance type stuff. I have some really cool hat pins today. If you like hat pins, I have some vintage Valentines. I have a little bit of jewelry. So I've got a wide mix of stuff I am bringing. And I've looked at other people's shows. and they are bringing the fire. So there is some really good stuff. That train is going on pretty much all day today. So go take a look at that. It looks like this. Well, you can look at my thumbnails, but it looks like that. There's a big old heart on there, so really easy to identify the thumbnail. So that's going to be a fun one at 3 o'clock. And then tonight is the New Seller Surge. So once a month, I host a raid train called the New Seller Surge, where we have 6 new sellers, new defined as less than 1,000 sales when they sign up. We do have a waiting list sometimes, so some people may hit over the 1,000 before the show, but that's okay. So new sellers, and the whole object of tonight, and I'll go into it more on the opening show later on tonight. But basically, yeah, today I have 4 shows today, Southern Charm 4, which is like crazy for me. But the basic concept of the good morning, Sam Dog, the New Seller Surge is that these new sellers, one, just get used to being on a raid train, all that stuff that goes with the raid train, right? Being on time, knowing who you're raiding, thanking people, blah, blah, blah.
Tell me about it, Kimmy D.
He is.
I just get abused. Used and abused.
He loves it. He loves it. But they also have to try something new. Good morning. They have to run something for $1. If they list stuff, they have to try random. And if they do randoms, they have to try something listed. So it's about getting people outside of their comfort zone a little bit.
Good morning. It's Date Addicts. Oh, really, Miss Michelle? You think I love it? Mm-hmm.
He does love it. You know what? Y'all don't, if you don't know my husband, don't let him fool you. This is a husband and wife team. This is a joint effort, and he is retired. I still work 9 to 5. Everybody should feel bad for me. He's retired. He has all day.
Right. And that's the reason why I get used and abused.
Kind of. All the stuff I don't have time for, I'm like, honey, hey, honey, can you do this? Can you do that? So that's what happens. All right. Did anybody see, good morning, Kate. Did anybody see the Big Kahuna's raid train last night? Big Kahuna's competition raid train. There's something in the chat if you saw this. Yes, Sam Dog, Kate. All right. You guys, straight from the heart. I'm a good hype person. Thank you so much. I was trying. This was the funnest raid train. I am not joking. Like, first of all, it blew my mind. I didn't know what to expect. I mean, well, first of all, it was with CG Boomerang Echo. And, you know, she's the queen of raid trains. So I knew it was going to be good because CG was part of it and she puts on good trains. But Southern Charm was right there in the chat, Southern Charm _7. She was modding and just doing more than modding. Like, behind the scenes, we thought, this is naively, we went into this, at least I did, thinking, okay, so Southern Charm and I are going to mod. I'll do an opening show. CG does a closing show. We're, you know, putting in the chat every now and then, welcome, check the bin, the normal mod stuff, you know, hyping up the seller. But there was a component to this train where the sellers, because it was a competition, they got points for every time they were rated. Well, some sellers, they understood what they were doing. They were ready. They had all of their supporters like ready to raid into them. So in the background, Southern Charm and I were supposed to be writing down who raided. I had a pen and paper. I was ready. JJ Shopper was the first one to go. She had like 17 raids. I think there was a few more, but a couple didn't count. There were so many raids. They were coming in so fast. They only had 20-minute spots. So you think about like 17 to 19 raids within a 20-minute time period. And we had to write down who was raiding and how many. Yeah, totally underestimated what was going to happen and how many they were raiding with, because one, we were trying to keep track of like the number of people raiding in, but they also had to have at least 10 to get points. It became apparent in the first 5 minutes. I'm calling my husband. I'm like, honey, I need you to help mod. I got to focus on raid trains. Southern Charm pulled in her husband, Tim, to help her. So this was like a 4-person behind the scene plus CG doing her normal like tracking that she normally does with everything. It was crazy. There were so many, most sellers, I would say like half of them got upwards between 15 and 18 or 15 and 17 raids. A few sellers, I think maybe they just, I don't know why, they didn't get a lot of raids, which at that point we were like, okay, let's take a breath. But it was so good. TBC Productions is the reigning Big Kahuna right now. So TBC Productions, congratulations. You were amazing. You got, I forget the exact number. I should have asked CG for it, but there was over $6,000 sold in 3 hours, and it was 8 people. And I forget the number of items, but it was thousands of items sold in 3 hours, like thousands, which is pretty amazing. Because think about your shows. If you doing a show, you could probably sell 100, 120 items in an hour on average, just give or take, right? There was a few thousand items sold in 3 hours. It was so fast. It was so good. And they're competing to get the name of the Big Kahuna. So TBC Productions, Big Kahuna this month, she had 1,202 points. So they got a point for every dollar, a point for every item, and then 5 points for every raid of 10 or more people. So that's how they get the score. So it evens the playing field. So think about that. You could sell something worth $1,000 and get a bunch of raids. Just sell one item for $1,000 and a whole bunch of raids, and you can win that way. Or you can do, mid-range items. You have to have a strategy going into this. Yeah, the raids were off the chart. You have to really have some type of strategy on what you're going to do to become the winner. And it was apparent. It was very apparent the thought through strategies that they had, which for me, like being business, like I like to analyze everything. Like that was really interesting to me. So what happens now? Next month, same time, same place, we're going to have 7 new people, and TBC Productions comes back to see if they can keep their title and stay on top. So this is a little bit different than the Battle of the Best shows. These ones, they get to stay the remaining champion if they win again next month. So it's kind of cool. Let's see how long they can hold their championship. A question: how do you get the banners to come on your screen? Amazon discount palette. That is all my husband. So most people will use OBS. He uses a lot of other technology and tools because that's kind of his background in real life. But it is all him. So it's all done through computerized programs and stuff he has hooked up.
Amazon pallets. If you're interested, I'm gonna put a message down on the box.
So that was last night, and anybody who's interested, Noel is my husband. He is Zoe's team mod. He was always happy to, he'll set up time with you guys if you want to learn how to do OBS. He'll set up time with you for free for like an hour or so and he'll do like a FaceTime and share screens and walk you through stuff. Yeah, he enjoys it. He really does enjoy sharing that type of knowledge and helping people do that. And there's no charge for it. So all you got to do is send him a message, and he'll set up some time that works. So speaking of that, I got a message the other day, and it made me feel so good. I got a message from, I'm not going to name the person, but somebody on Whatnot, who are like, hey, I heard you were a CPA. Can you help me with some tax questions? And so the same thing like my husband does. I'm always happy to meet with people on the side. Now, I can't give specific advice, and I don't charge for it, but I can kind of walk through general scenarios and kind of help lead you in the right direction to speak to your CPA or accountant. So I'm always available if you guys have questions like that. We do shows. You can always ask in the show, but if you just want like a personal phone call. All right, let's sell something else, and then we'll talk about some another topic. I don't know what topic, so if you guys have... There's CG. We were just talking about you. Don't you have a show?
Good morning, Miss Echo.
Yeah, everybody right there, CG Boomerang, and go in the chat about 4Up. That's who I was just talking about. So we're actually probably going to try to raid into you this morning. Let's go ahead, and we're going to sell this. This is probably the cutest item I have today. I am in love with this item. I found this at the antique store. Somebody far craftier than me made this. It is an old doorknob. I don't know if it glows. I should check that. Let's see. Probably doesn't. I don't think it does, but we'll see. Nah, not really. Old doorknob. And look they took this cloth like bunny picture and they attached it to this old doorknob. How adorable is that for your Easter vignettes or just like your little Easter decor? We'll get my coffee cup out of the way.
Exactly. Get rid of the coffee cup.
All right. We're going to go ahead and run that one. It stands. There's my hand. It's about the size of a hand. We're going to push it back just a little bit there. And we're going to get it going. That is up and running right now. I just think that's the cutest little thing here. He puts a bubble, then it covers up my beautiful products. Good morning, Grinch Mom. And Southern Charm, thank you so much. That is heading your way.
Thank you.
All right, what's our next topic? Does anybody have any questions? Anything they are that is on their mind this morning? I have a question for you guys. No, I don't have any baseball sign stuff. I don't know much about sports. So you know what would happen if I got sports stuff? If I got sports stuff, I would just sell it all at $1, and it may be like the most expensive sports thing ever. So here's a true story. Tell you a sports story. This is how little I know about sports. So I used to work on a live television show. It was called the Florida Sports Awards. You could probably Google it. I don't know if it's still there. It hasn't been on for a good 20 years. So Florida Sports Awards, it was a live award show. Kind of think like Grammys, Emmys. We had the red carpet. We had the whole bit. But it was for athletes throughout the state of Florida. Fun fact, Florida is the only state in the country that has 2 major sports teams of every type of sport. So 2 hockey, 2 football, 2 baseball, women's, they have NASCAR. So they have every single sport and 2 of every sport for the ones that would have multiple. NASCAR is just 1. So like there's men's, 2 basketball, 2 women's basketball. So all of it, tons of athletes. This is back when Tim Tebow was in college, when he was really popular. So we would have the sports award show where we would honor professional and amateur athletes, or like college athletes. And we would do this big award show with the red carpet. It was live on TV. It was like a 3-hour show, big deal. And then we would have an after party. My job was always, one, to welcome people on the red carpet and at the after party. I had no clue who these people were. Like there was big names coming through there, Jacksonville Jaguars players. This is back in the days of Tony Baselli, Mark Brunell. I didn't know who these people were.
Negative.
No, I didn't really have a clue who Tim Tebow was. I did meet Tim Tebow back when in his college days, because he came to these events. And we also used to travel in the off season. We would travel to all of the arenas and stuff and do presentations. But anyways, my job was to check them in and to this like after party, A-list after party. And we would even have actors and actresses coming. So I had the list, and they would come up to me, and most people would be like, see them a mile away and know, oh, I know who that is. Look who's walking up. They would have to walk up, and I would be like, name? I can't tell you how many people I probably offended because I should have known who they were, but I had no freaking clue. However, it made me the best person for the job because I was not starstruck in any way, shape, or form. So I wasn't all about autographs. I was just about doing my job and checking them into the party. I actually met Lou Gossett Jr. I've met a lot of cool people from Friends, some of the Friends actors, some of the Seinfeld actors.
Right, Southern Charm.
So
All the different cards, sports cards that you could have signed and
Yeah.
sold at this moment.
why you should never take a bath in Pokemon. So anyways, yeah, that just true story. That what's happened. And actually, Tim Tebow, I used to go when I lived in Florida. I lived only about 2 miles from his house, and I used to run by his house every day. I knew it was his house, but I wasn't out there stalking. It was just on my path where I would run. All right, let's do something else here. We got another pre-bid. We're gonna run our pre-bids first. All right, we have a spoon rest. This is Cracker Barrel. So this probably isn't vintage because it is from Cracker Barrel. There you go, Cracker Barrel. But it is really pretty. We're gonna show you from the top. And you know what I think is really cool about this is that Cracker Barrel is so stinking expensive, and I love going there and looking at their store, but I will never spend the money in their store because I think they're too expensive. Oh, this way. So you can get something from Cracker Barrel for dirt cheap. So we have a really pretty spoon rest. It's in perfect condition. There is nothing wrong with it, and that is running right now. Good morning, Forgotten Memories.
Good morning, Forgotten Memories.
Yeah, they're clearance corner. I do get tempted. Shalom, thank you so much. I get super tempted by their candles. So, but I just can't. I'm cheap. I'm a cheap person. So Bluebee, you watched the roundtable on YouTube and you liked it. Thank you. Okay, if you guys don't know what Bluebee is talking about, you probably are new to one of our shows because I have been talking about this nonstop. So I apologize for you having to hear me go on and on about it. But We have started a YouTube podcast. Myself, Zoe's Treasures. My husband does all the techie background stuff. I get to be on the camera talking and giving my thoughts and opinions. And we have joined forces with I Love Discounts, which is Tony and Lysandra, and Green 13, Jeremy from Green 13 and or Blue 14. They have 2 channels. So all of us individually do our own chat shows here on Whatnot, but we have joined forces on YouTube. You guys can go and see that. We'll put it up on the screen so you can see where to go. Right there, Reseller Roundtable. So if you missed the first one, you can watch it. And we will be on every Sunday night at 6:30 p.m. We are also streaming to Spotify, and
We're also, the audio is also on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcast.
so we are doing all the things in all the places. And it's fun. And what's really cool about this, and so this is like, thank you. Hey, Auntie Barbie, you got to come this Sunday. We're going to have 4 boxes. So you kind of saw in that last thumbnail my husband put up there, but we have boxes that we kind of sit in that are, like frames around us. Well, Tony and Lysandra, I mean, I kind of feel bad for them. They're squished in together. Like Tony's like this in his side and Lysandra's like this so they can get in. So Noelle has made it more comfortable. They each will now have their own box. Well, what is the coolest thing about this? And this is my favorite part, is that we are all Whatnot sellers, right? But it really highlights the differences and the variety that you get on Whatnot. We all sell in different, we all have different styles of selling. We all sell pretty much different products. I mean, there's some crossover, but some of us are full-time. I'm not full-time. Tony and Lysandra come from having a brick and mortar store. Green 13 has a full-time staff and a big warehouse. So we all kind of have these very different opinions and views. This Sunday, we're going to kick it off. We're going to be talking about a really controversial topic. I'm not going to give it away because you got to come and see it, but something that we all really disagree about, but we can disagree in a friendly manner. And that's what I think makes Whatnot so cool, is that there's not just one way to Whatnot, right? You can Whatnot in any manner that works for your business. And I love that. Now, doesn't mean we're all going to agree. I look at some people and I'm like, girl, I don't know what you're doing over there, but it's working for you. So you do you, right? Anyways, that's what I think is cool about Whatnot. We're going to run another item and then we're going to talk some more. All right. This one, another one that I don't know is if it's Delft or not. There's no markings. I'm going to put it here. We need a riser. Of course, I have nothing I can reach quickly. We're going to do a riser. There we go. We have this tiny little bell. Is that not adorable? It looks like Delft. It rings still. No markings. It's in good shape. And that's running right now. You could probably, it's a little thick. I say you could probably put it on a printer tray. But it's a little thick. You'd have to be careful it doesn't fall off. Shalom. Thank you so much. That is going to you.
Thank you.
So that stuff that's going on. Okay, I got a question. Here's my question, just because you know what? Y'all are going to be market research here. Y'all are going to give me information. I like that you brought up people taking advantage of new sellers. I see it a lot. Good to call out. Oh, yeah. So what Bluebee is talking about, we had a whole conversation about there's different groups on Whatnot, and whether you agree or not, that's, again, I'm going to go back. That's the beauty of Whatnot, that we all get to do our thing. But there seems to be a prevalence or this emergence of some people not really selling products. They just sell like sponsorships and I'm going to call it, I think it looks like a pyramid scheme to me, kind of like those old days where you have somebody on top and they recruit people and they're selling and then they get some money and it kind of goes down. I'm not going to name people or call people out. This is just something that a few of us have observed, that there's some growth of this in certain areas on Whatnot. To me, it's concerning. I think it's going to, it's a cold. I think eventually it's going to weed itself out. But you know what? There's always a turnover in sellers. There's always new sellers coming in. We're always going to see things. I think what's more importantly is that we stay true as buyers to our own ethics. If we don't agree with it, then don't purchase from those people. If you're okay with it, then purchase. So then, you do you type of thing. It's not my cup of tea. So I just keep swiping. And that's what we need to do. We don't have to have all the negativity and the meanness. We could just keep swiping. That's the beauty of the platform. Also selling information when there is a lot available for free. Absolutely, Bluebee. And
I totally agree with that. There's a lot of people charging for information that you can find on the website and telling you to buy products that the information is there. It's for free.
yeah, that's a huge pet peeve of mine. Now, I do sell PDFs and I have a workbook that I've created, and I put those only on Fridays. They come out, I think, in the marketplace. I have them listed in the background. But, and I don't say this just to be like, oh, look at me. This is my belief. There are a lot of people selling like how to do something on Whatnot, like how to do your shipping or how to do stuff that is free information within the Whatnot help. As a buyer, I don't understand why people buy that, because it's free. Like you could go anywhere and Whatnot. What I sell, what my belief is, that if you're going to sell something, it needs to come from some knowledge or experience, not just chat GPT. That's another pet peeve. So selling stuff that's free on Whatnot, like free information through the help menus, or that's solely created by chat GPT, is my pet peeve. Some people don't like doing their own research. Yeah. That's just how I feel. Now, mine, do I use chat GPT? Absolutely. I use it a lot to get ideas, for creativity, for, hey, help me come up with cool show names, help me develop a cool thumbnail. There is ways to legit use that like is very helpful in a business. But when it comes to actual information, I think you should be basing it on your own experience, your own expertise, your own field that maybe you have done outside of Whatnot, and you're bringing something to the table. Whether that be, like in my case, it's tax and accounting. Everything I sell on my Friday shows has to do from a tax and accounting focus, because that's my background. That's what I've done for over 30 years. So that's just kind of my pet peeve. I also don't believe in the pay me, and here I hope I don't make enemies with this, but I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't believe in the pay me for consulting. Pay me X number of dollars and I'll give you 30 minutes of consulting to help you grow your Whatnot business. I'm telling you guys, nobody is there. A get rich type thing is a scheme. It's a promise. It is, they're selling a hope and a dream. The only way to make it big is through your own hard work and effort, because a lot of the people selling those things are like, oh, look at this, I made X number of dollars in so many months. But you're not seeing the late nights, the early mornings, all the long hours, all the shipping, all the sad parts, all the hard parts, because you know what? Selling the hard stuff doesn't sell. If I come on here and I tell you how hard this is, how many times I'm up till midnight, or how many times I'm up at 4:35 in the morning shipping, you don't want to buy that. That sucks. Why would anybody want that, right? No. So they're selling, I made $1 million in 6 months, or whatever it is, because that's cool. You want to buy that. You want to get on that hope and dream boat. So I just believe in truthful, honest, like to the point. Can you be successful? 100%. You're going to have to put in the work for it. Now, is there people who just, I don't know, they hit the lottery that day, they just came in at the right time in the right place and they made it big fast? There sure is.
Yes, some people charge too much. And that's the reason why you need to find trustworthy people or a good family member that is willing to help you.
Yeah, the lost ledger, like some people are selling it where they look at your profile. Do you want to know what your profile would be? I'll give you my opinion what your profile should be. What you do, what you sell, and when are you on. There you go. That's your profile.
Lysandra from My Love Discounts, she does it for free.
Exactly. Y'all got to get me going this morning. I'm telling you. I recently heard of people charging to mod. Now that is ridiculous. Now, I think as sellers, we should be calling out, recognizing our mods, but to charge to me is crazy. The other thing that I don't agree with, a lot of people do this, and I know, I'm not trying to be mean about this, because I know Whatnot doesn't make it easy. But if you're doing a community service, you're doing a community service. That's a free service. don't charge people in any way, shape, or form for your community service at all. So I'm like, that is a huge thing with me, and I've got to bite my tongue a lot because there's a lot of people I do really like and respect that sometimes I'm like, I don't totally agree with that. Straight from the Heart says, yes, I haven't heard how many hours they spend packing orders. Yeah, no, they don't tell you. You don't hear. You'll be like, oh, I had to put in the work. But that's like, you're not hearing the background, all of it that's happening. People charge the mod. Yeah. Are they charged? I have seen some people charge you to co-host. So they're like, oh yeah, they'll do a sponsorship, and to recognize you, I'll co-host you as part of your sponsorship or gift to chat. You know what? Co-hosting is a free feature on Whatnot. Free feature on Whatnot. But people buy it, so they're trying to be professional mods. See, if you're, I don't know, I guess I feel like if I'm paying you, do you really have my best interest in heart? Or are you're doing it for the money? Like, and when Southern Charm mods, she modded last night for the Big Kahuna's Raid Train. She did it because she wanted to. She did it as part of the community. She did it because we're friends, and I reached out and said, hey, would you be willing to do this? She did it because this was something that she said, I thought through. Yes, I want to do this. She wanted to. It was no monetary. There's nothing there. Now, is there recognition? Yeah, there is. Everybody shouted her out. Everybody said thank you to the mods. That's part of a raid train. That's like an inherent piece of a raid train, but that's not why you do it, right? So I don't know. That's my pet peeve, and I know I'm probably getting a lot of people angry with it.
You fell asleep. TBC Productions won. It was pretty close.
Yeah, it was really close. Like the first, second, and third were just 20, 30 points difference. Like one or two raids could make or break you in this competition. Let's go ahead and sell something else, and then we'll move on. All right, I have these little doggies. These are bone china dogs.
Absolutely, Shalom, y'all. Absolutely. That's part of my profile as well. If I see someone that needs help or wants help and they ask, by all means.
Oh, did she raid into one of your friends? Yeah, she was super excited. Like really surprised that she won. All right, let's go ahead and run this guy. He's a little doggy. He is bone china. Look at that. Has a little bone china sticker on his behind there. Can we move it over so you can see him? I don't know what kind of dog this is because I don't know anything about dogs. I don't know anything about a lot of things. We're going to run it. Going right now. If you like a bone china dog. I have another one too. We'll run it next, right after this. Thank you so much for your bids. I'm stuffy, you guys. I'm starting to get schnauzer. Maybe he has like that square face.
Yeah, like
Southern
a Frenchie.
Charm. Southern Charm, going to you. Let's do this one. This guy kind of reminds me
Thank
of,
you.
I don't know. He has the long, fluffy ears. Let's see. Can we get him over? There we go. Look at that. Another bone china one. Long ears. He's cute. Man, I'm stuffed up. All right, we're going to go ahead and run him. We've done the turn him around, show him off. And he's running. Let's see if we can get him. Oh, just a little bit more in screen there.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a spaniel.
Tanya's Timeless Treasures, congratulations. I had a basset hound
Thank
at one
you.
point in time in my life, and I love that little dog. Dog was named Gracie, but it only lasted about 6 months, and then we found her a home on a farm in Florida because it's not that I'm not a dog person, I just love other people's dogs. So I'm not a good dog owner. I'm not home enough. I'm just not, the dog doesn't get what they deserve from me. So learned my lesson. But I do love other people's dogs because then I don't have to be the responsible person.
And for those of you who don't know, I am the wizard behind the curtain. Oops,
Oh,
sorry.
look at
Wrong
that. He's
one.
fired.
I gotta fix that.
Yeah, you got to fix that. Fired. All right, we're probably only going to do like 10 more minutes because I do want to raid CG this morning just as kind of like a follow-up from last night's show. So I've got a few more things to sell, but let's talk. I keep trying to ask this question and I keep rabbit trailing.
Let's try it one more time. There it is.
Look at him. Oh, you have been bumped down. You were no longer a wizard. You were just a magician.
I'm full of tricks.
All right. Question. So I did a creamer show. All creamers, last Friday night, I think. It's all blending together. What is something that you would love to see a show like all of? Like, I know some people do hens on a nest. I don't think that's not something I can do right now unless I come across an amazing like auction I can buy hens. What is something that you collect that you would love to be like, I just want to see a show of this? I'm totally gonna pick your brain so that I could like develop a new show. Pens. That's cool. Ironstone. Okay, Ironstone's a big one. That's kind of been rolling around in my head. Dragons. Glass shoes. Monster Mama, that's interesting. You missed it in, haunts you? Oh no. I still have a ton of creamers I didn't even bring to that show. Crocs and Yellowware. Okay. Oh, I would love to do fairy lamps. I have one. I got one fairy lamp. That's all I've been able to get my hands on. Dragonflies, art. I would love to do art.
Blue Bee says Longerburger.
Longenberger. I occasionally do Longenberger, but never a whole show. That might be a fun one. Baskets. Now that's.
See, there you go. Miss Kate knows.
I'm feeling this. Oh, typewriters. I actually have collected old typewriters. I don't know about shipping them though.
Auntie Barbie, unless they're the little pencil sharpeners
Old
types.
All right. There's a lot of good ideas. So you guys, not just me, but if you're a seller, like take note of some of these brooches. Yes, I would love to do brooches. Have you guys seen? Okay, first of all, we all know gold and silver is through the roof right now. I have been trying to bid on some pieces. Gretchen is raiding with a party of 13.
Welcome in, Raiders! Grab your hats and step into Zoe's Treasures, where the relics aren't cursed. They are for sale.
Welcome to Zoe's Treasures, everybody. If you are coming over with Gretchen, my name is Tracy. We are a husband and wife team. This is our chat and sell morning mix show. So we sell a few things. We talk about a lot of things. And what we like to do when somebody raids us is take a quick look at their profile to say thank you and let everybody know who you are. So Gretchen ate a hot fire mess of random treasures. When is the next show? Let's scroll down and see when that next show is. 4/1. Wednesdays are reserved for whatnot, y'all. So there you go. Gretchen is on Wednesdays, and it looks like estate type stuff. So some cool mix of different items. Thanks so much for coming on over. Thank you. You like the podcast. Great. Yeah. Sunday night, we're going to do another one. I was just talking about it. We have a really good controversial topic for Sunday night. A pretty dainty show for Valentine's brooches, perfume bottles, oh yeah, that would be so nice. But if you're a seller, take note. Here's a bunch of ideas. My mind's spinning now of different ideas of a special type show, just kind of like collect things. When I asked people if they would like creamers and they said yes, it took me about a month. I thought it was going to take about 3 months. It took me about a month to collect almost 100 creamers, which for me, I was very surprised that it was so quick. All things spring, we are getting there. As I sit here and say in 7-degree weather, it is almost spring. It really is. Y'all, I can't even believe that this whole last year just kind of flew by. Let's go ahead and run something else really quick here because we're going to get through the rest of these items. Today, somehow, I have a cracked egg vase. Speaking of spring and Easter, look at this pretty thing. This was made in, I have no idea. That's my normal. I have no idea. Look at how pretty it is. We're going to pull it back. I love the painting on it. So dainty. It looks like a cracked egg. All those cracks are intentional up there at the top. Nothing wrong with it. We do have a mark on there. Can't quite read it. 2 degrees. Oh my gosh. All right, we're going to get this going for $1. Up and running. Look at that pretty flower.
Hey, Robin, what part of Vermont are you in?
Thank you for your bids. I think a little air plant or something coming out of that would be pretty nice.
Good morning. I love discounts.
Carolyn, that's going to you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Good morning.
you.
I love discounts. Bar City. I do not know where that is. You went to Vermont, haven't you, honey?
Yes, I was in Vermont for About almost 2 months.
Yeah. So I'll tell you another true story here. You come to the Monday and Wednesday shows, you're going to get like the whole story of my life eventually. I can't go into all the details, but when I first met my husband, we met later in life. We both have adult children, second marriage or so. We won't name the number. Anyways, I met my husband. We started dating. Within about 2 months, he got deployed. And me being the nice person that I am, says we lived about an hour away from each other. And this was right at the beginning of COVID. I said, I'll come check on your house. I'll mow your lawn. You know, I'll just keep things up while you're gone. He's like, oh, thank you. That's so sweet. That's so nice of you. Well, I also had my house up for sale at that time, thinking this is COVID. It's going to take a long, long time to sell a house in COVID, right? Well, my house sold very, very quickly, far faster than I ever thought it was going to sell. And so I called him up one day. He was deployed. I called him up. I said, guess what? My house sold. And I'm living in your house now. So while he was deployed, I moved in, me and what is now my 15-year-old daughter, Zoe. She was a lot younger at the time. We moved in and redecorated his whole house, and his bachelor pad went to a nice, warm, cozy home, all while he was deployed. So he left this bachelor and he came back like, you know, practically a married man. We didn't quite get married right away, but that's what happened, you know? Hey, you just gotta seize the opportunity, seize the moment. That's the way it is.
Robin, to answer your question, I was in Swanton.
So, hey, look, I don't know if any of you could relate to this. I'd already went through a long marriage. I was divorced. I knew what I wanted. At this point in my time, there, you know, you get to a certain age, you got to quit wasting time. You know what you want. You know what you're going for. You just got to do it. Like, I don't have many, many, many years ahead of me. You know, I have limited time here. So we just had to do what we needed to do. I did want him. He was kind of sweet. All right, we're going to run another item. If you guys like tins, this is a really pretty one. I love the oranges on this one. You deem what you don't want with age. That's right. That's right. You learn what you don't want. So we have this really beautiful tin. England. It was made in England. Does it open? It does. Oh, look, and it's fairly clean on the inside. Look, not too bad. All right, we're going to run that one. Going for $1. Up and running. That man is mine, even if he does not know it. Exactly. Why is it not starting? Okay, hold on, you guys. For some reason, it doesn't want to start. Let's see. Start auction. There we go. Now it's starting. Yeah. So we actually met. We met in a very, what I'm going to consider an old-fashioned way in this day and age. A monster mama. Congratulations. That's heading to you.
On its way to you.
We actually met online. So we went, what website was that? Where did we meet? Honey, do you remember the site? It was one of the popular like dating app sites. It wasn't like one of those sites. It wasn't like OnlyFans. No, it was a reputable like dating site. I forget what it was. I haven't had it obviously since I met him. Tinder. No, it was not Tinder. At my age, look, maybe it was Match. That sounds familiar. I bet you it was Match.com. Look, at that point, like if once you get out of the dating game, I got married at 19 to my first husband. We were married for 23 years before our divorce. At that point in my life, I didn't even know how to date anymore. I'm like, the game had changed. The whole scene had changed so much. I didn't even know what to do. So, been married almost 42 years, love at first sight. Oh, met through a mutual friend. Boulder and Chain, yeah. There should be one for antique sellers. There should be a total date for thrifters. Like there should be thrift dates. Like that should be totally a thing. Like thrift and antique store dates. Totally. All right, let's do, I have two items left. Let's do these two last things. Whatnot Dating. Hey, you know what? Where did she go? Is she still on here?
Hey, I love discounts. They're going to be participating on the Tony Safari Ride Train.
Oh, you married your first puppy love? That's so sweet. I met my first husband on a blind date, and that kind of scared me. Matchmakers on Whatnot. There's a girl. I don't know if she's still on here. Is she in the chat?
I love discounts. Put it right there.
Oh yeah, Coach Constance. She was like a dating coach on Whatnot. I don't know if she's still on. All right, we have a little watering can shaker. We're gonna run this guy. This is metal. It's actually like a salt or pepper shaker. It would come out the holes. Oops, over here. Let's see. Can you see it? There we go. So it has its little thing. I just thought it's adorable, especially for spring. If you could do like a little spring vignette or something. Whatnot is being a little whatnotty this morning. All right, that is up and running. Tony, so I Love Discount says, Tony and I want to do a dating game show on Whatnot. I think it would be fun too. But we got to think about the legalities. There's certain states, thanks for looking at that, you guys. There's certain states that I'm not too sure if that would be legal in. Like, I mean, you could totally do that in some states, like, you know, Nevada is probably totally legal. Speed dating on Whatnot. You know, I think there's a whole market for it. Maybe that's one of the new categories that are coming. Who knows? You never know. Wait, what?
Co-host your date.
You could just do a speed like co-hosting thing, and there's like set questions that each have to answer. Then the chat has to vote. That would be totally cool. Like you get the main person, like I'm up here, and then like 10 guys have to come on and answer questions, and I like pepper them with questions, and then the chat votes for like the top 5. And then we do it again, like another round, and we narrow it down.
A great name, Missy J.
Yes. Pop Shop, hello. All right, we're going to run this last item here. Let's see, can I pin it? This is my last item, then we'll talk a bit more before we go raid CG. We have, these are really pretty. These are Noritake. They're 2 little, like, dainty bowls. They kind of match. They kind of have, like, the similar. Are they exactly the same? They are exactly the same. They are really pretty. No chips or cracks. We're going to put them like this so you can see them from the top. We're going to run. You're going to get both of those for $1. And they're running. That's our last item to run today. You have to put thought into the dating game thing. Yeah, I think that would be cool.
I know, Lost Ledger. Sounds interesting, huh?
Carolyn, thank you so much. That is heading your way. Yeah, when my wheels start spinning, when you give me an idea and I start thinking about it, I'm like all in. And here's the problem. This is the force that I fight with. Most of you know me. Most of you come to my Friday shows. My mind works in a very logical, analytical business kind of mindset. I'm pretty straight-laced. However, I am like a bomb. When I get an idea, I want it. I want it right now. I'm going to jump right into it. I am full force, 100% in, and it is just like boom, which sometimes isn't the best idea ever, but that's totally me.
Tell me about it.
Y'all, I'm a Libra. So, which is kind of ironic that I could actually make a decision being a Libra. But
one of these days, I'm going to tell you the story of patching the ceiling.
What are you talking about, patching the ceiling? I do a lot of home. Are you a Libra too? I do a lot of home improvements. And have you ever seen those memes that it's like, I can still get my husband's heart beating, and then you see the girl walking by with like a ladder or a drill? Totally me. How can you monetize a dating game? So you can't charge to be on there. You can't charge a co-host. You can't charge tips to vote. I would have to think about that. Maybe you would have to like sell an item. Maybe the either like one, how about this? One or the other. So either the person who's trying to get a date. So say if I'm the one trying to get a date, don't worry, honey, I will never do a dating game. I love you. But if I'm trying to get a date, maybe I have to sell items that represent my dream man.
Reclaim vintage? No, because that would be considered gambling.
So maybe I have to sell items that represent my dream man to get an idea so the chat can understand my, like, I can't tell you that I want, tall, dark, and handsome. We thought about having viewers buy stickers to buy the couple's dinner. Oh, there you go. Okay, I like that. Or maybe the gentlemen have to come on, or the people applying for the dates, because we can do it vice versa, right? They come on and they have to sell something. So we would have to have the ability to co-host sell, but they could sell something to represent who they are or what they bring to a relationship. So you could you could do a lot of play on there. I think you could do a lot of different things with it. And that was kind of their way to vote for the winning contestant. I think that would be cool. So now I Love Discounts is doing a raid train because Kelly's Place made some offhanded comment one day that she wanted a man like Tony from I Love Discounts. So now I Love Discounts is on a mission to find a Tony for Kelly's Place. So I think it's kind of funny. Sell products within matchmaking. All right, you guys, you're all here. I'm just gonna, I Love Discounts. Sorry, we're gonna like totally inundate your inbox. You have ideas, send them to I Love Discounts. All right. Okay, you guys, we are going to go raid today. I do want to raid CG before she gets off. She's only on for a short time every morning. Thank you for being here this morning. Thanks for buying my stuff. I am going to be on 3 o'clock today and then again back at 5:45 tonight. So we have 2 raid trains. One I am on, one I am hosting today. So we will see you all. Can we sell our current husbands? We could just rent them out.
She will be totally on board with that.
I would just rent him out because, you know, I do love him for certain things. No, I love him. Anyways, all right, let's go raid CG. You guys have a wonderful day.